Hi everyone, I'm Anveenie and welcome to the channel. In this video, I am building and decorating Merida's castle in one of the Everafter sub-biomes in Storybook Vale DLC. I'm including a few scenes referencing the Brave movie and turning my fallen fortress into the Scottish Highlands. If you're interested to see how this was built, then keep on watching. I wanted to build a large castle for Merida for a long time, and this biome is perfect for this build, because we already have these castle ruins in the distance, and we have this night castle wall bundle from the premium shop that matches the same aesthetic. I'm starting the layout with the Mossy Castle house skin and Merida's house that I'm going to turn into a witch's cottage from the movie. If you don't have the Mossy Castle, but have the Night Wall kit, you can just use wall pieces to build your own castle. It's honestly one of the best bundles you could get from the premium shop, because it comes with so many pieces and works for so many builds and aesthetics. I used some wall pieces here to make the Mossy Castle bigger, added a couple small rooms on the back, and it will also help to make it look like it's part of the rest of the castle space. In the two arches in front, I added the Storyteller's Fire from Pocahontas Friendship Rewards and changed the color to yellow. This adds a lot of warmth to the space, something to break that monotone stonework. For the next step, I am building the outline of exterior walls and aligning arched entrances with the biomes entrances. If you're building castle walls and don't know where to start, just start with entrance and the corner pieces with large towers. Then fill the space in between with smaller wall pieces. This kit snaps together very easily, and you can use the crumbled edge pieces to hide the gaps or seams. I also added the large Storybook Vale trees in the corners of the castle courtyard. I'm going to decorate this courtyard as an indoor-outdoor space later on. I didn't make the wall solid all around, but instead I left some gaps to be able to access the river fishing spots and mining nodes. That trial area across the river actually looks like the second part of the castle now. I'm going to have the main castle gate to face the second half of the biome. There will be a trail of wisps leading outside to the far corner, where I want to have the Kalanish standing stones and the camp from the movie opening scene. To make the main gate look more interesting, I added the round-shaped window alcoves on each side. They have some gaps when placed at the angle, but it's not super noticeable. I had to adjust placement because the gap for a fishing spot was too small, so I needed to shift the wall a bit forward. Sometimes it takes a few tries to get to that finished result when all pieces are in the right places. The inner part of the alcoves I want to look more like an indoor space, so I'm building the frame using the ranch beams on each side and adjusting some wall pieces to better align with the wooden frame. They're not quite symmetrical because I need some more space on the right to have a wide enough path going around the castle. And with the Mossy Castle positioned at the angle, it makes the whole build look more dynamic, where each corner of the courtyard looks unique. The front part of the castle wall with the main gate I want to make look more substantial and to make it look more inviting. So I'm adding another wall outline, but with the mossy stone craftable wall pieces from Storybook Vale. Later, I want to fill the space between these two walls with plants and bushes to add this layered effect to the build. What inspired me to make a Brave-themed build is this new item we just got in the premium shop. It's this Will-o'-the-Wisp. It's the VFX type of item. When you approach it, it disappears, just like when Merida was following them in the movie. To incorporate this story element into the build, I needed to include some sort of the forest element in the biome. To better separate the castle and the standing stones area, I'm using these two large tree clusters in the middle to create the main pathway. And to achieve this really thick forest look, I'm adding additional trees outside of the clusters. What really makes the difference is these willow trees and sycamore trees. They both have this thick and heavy leaf top part to really bring this dense forest look. And the hanging leaves branches from the willow trees create this inviting tunnel that leads you across the biome. Having this dense forest section in the middle, I think makes this biome look bigger than it is. It's gonna be so fun going through the path between the tree clusters and seeing the open area in front of the castle entrance. It definitely adds this wow effect because it's less expected when coming out of the dense forest. It's always hard to add any type of underbush in this game because items cannot be overlapped. So I did the best I could by adding some bushes and ferns around the tree clusters. And the only item that can be layered is the beach grass that I placed around the trees and edges, trying to mix and match a few different types of underbush. All of that is to help the forest section to look more dense and to better outline the pathways between trees. It makes the whole area look more put together without using too many items. The recent great addition is this Miko's house that you can get by leveling up Miko. It looks like a little willow tree with a critter house on it. I rotated the tree to hide the house part and mostly see the tree itself. It has a good coverage and it matches the larger willow trees. Besides the forest section in the center, I just added a few trees on the perimeter of the biome to get that enclosed forest look and placed some more underbush around the trees. There was an open space left near the river, and instead of placing more foliage there, I decided to make the camp similar to the opening scene from Brave, when Merida is a little girl. We have this orange tent that looks a bit similar to the yellow one in the movie, and I just added a fire pit in front and a table set up with the DunBroch banners. I also added a small area of the leaf-strewn path to enclose the camp area to make it more contained. And to finish up, just added more decor items around the tent. Some ferns and grass on the path edges helps to better blend the area with the rest of the ground. Now that the forest area is more put together, let's go back and decorate the castle interior to really make it look like a Clan DunBroch residence. I started by placing ancient road path to cover the whole castle area. And on the back corner, I added another ranch beams frame to make the stable area. I'm going to decorate this back side of the castle with some utility items, some rustic decor, and anything that will make sense with the medieval castle build. Then I wanted some variation in pathing, so I added the straight lines of stone slab path going from one entrance to another. Just a heads up, if you cut into existing paths like this, the game tends to not save the progress, so make sure to exit and save often. I had to redo pathing sections because it was just not saving and breaking the path lines. Another pathing detail I wanted to include is tiles. So I removed every other tile in front of the castle and added individual tiles of the ancient road path with borders in the empty spots. This process is a bit tedious, but the result I think is worth it. I like having this complex pathing design in the open areas where I don't have any decorations, but I don't want it to just sit empty. And having a complex pattern design doesn't affect the item limit, which makes me lean towards using paths more. Another cute detail I discovered is adding the flowering wood fence to enclose these fire pit areas. This makes it look more finished from the character's perspective. In front of the well, I decided to make some sort of the great hall with a dining table like in the movie. Just imagine that this is the castle interior. This harvest table is already decorated and it can be seamlessly stacked to create a very long table, which is perfect for this long and narrow section. To finish off the castle front area, I brought another section of mossy stone walls and added a few trees and bushes around. The mossy castle is already covered in moss and foliage, which is the exact aesthetic I want for the medieval Scottish castle. I made sure to include all the few items that we have in the Brave collection, like Clan DunBroch banners and the family treasure shield stand, and of course the archery target. Merida's fireplace is unfortunately indoor only, so I used the Wish Blossom Ranch fireplace. The next section of the build is all about adding more details to the castle interior courtyard and filling out these empty spaces with any rustic wooden items that would fit the theme and time period. The back room I actually used to hide the vacuum and crafting station. And for the stables area, the same as behind the well, I am using arched door pieces to access the mining nodes. For the windowed alcoves in the front, I'm decorating them as these kind of workshop crafting sheds. I added a section of the fence to make it more enclosed and to look more like a separate building inside the courtyard. Now it's time to fill the front area of the main gate with shrubs and plants. I am using a mix of different colored bushes and the small trees to match the rest of the forest, and adding a bit of the layering with grass and mushrooms. The witch's cottage slash Merida's house, I'm gonna keep it simple. The fence with the arch helps separate it from the rest of the build. I'm just gonna add a few bushes and ferns around the entrance. Include a rocking chair in front of the house and a cauldron on the back. A couple of wood carved items around the house is a must because she's a wood carver. She mentioned it a couple times in the movie. The witch, not Merida. I wanted to include one more little reference. In the post-credit scene in Brave, there is a huge delivery of wood carvings arriving at Merida's castle because she told the witch that she would buy everything. So I added a few crates next to the castle door to make sure Merida gets her delivery. And here is the finished build. I think it's quite fitting for the Everafter biome, and it has this Scottish Highlands atmosphere. Let me know if it reminds you of Merida and the movie Brave. I hope you enjoyed this build and it provided some inspiration and decorating ideas for your valley and Storybook Vale. Thank you for watching till the end and enjoy the following walkthrough to see everything up close. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.